Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video I am going to be trying my very first Scrawlrbox. This is an art subscription box. I've wanted to try one for so long. When I would watch DrawingWiffWaffles using them all the time, I always thought how amazing they looked. So when they reached out and said, do I want to try one? Of course I jumped on that and I was like, yes, I would love to try one. That is what we will be trying in today's video. This is the box itself, this is what it came in. I have to admit I was a little surprised. This is the subscription box, but this is also how it was delivered to me. This is the exact way that it arrived to my house. I had to open it to make sure that everything was okay, and luckily it was, but I am just surprised that this is exactly how it ships out. But I guess if everything is safe, then that works. It is better to use less packaging, which I am always a fan of. But yeah, this is what it looks like. So I believe this is one of the older boxes. Yes, this is from August last year of 2025. So starting off, we've got an acrylic marker set. Okay, so it is just a few of RTX's acrylic brush pens. This looks very similar to ones we've gotten in sets before. RTX sets, I mean, not Scrawlrbox. So we've got a very warm-based set of colours here, which is very interesting. I have no idea what I'm going to do with these. Then we've got this here with a little sticker on it. Ooh! So we've got a very long pencil. This is a Pentel pencil. So I think this is, yeah, this is just a regular 2B pencil. Then we get a Winsor & Newton, I'm assuming this is a fine liner. Yes, this is a fine liner. Whoa. I don't think I've ever seen a pen nib this long. Wow. I wonder what that benefits. This is in a 0.3 nib size. Then we've also got this Uniball Signo. This is in the colour bronze. And then we get a sweet and a sticker. That's really cool. And I have no idea what flavour sweet this is. It's probably going to be like minty or something. I'll probably eat that later. I completely forgot that they add sweets in these things. Right. And then it also comes with a zine or a zine. I've never known how you say these. I've always called them zines, but now I think they might be zine, like magazine. That makes the most sense. So this just explains more of what you got in the box. This is a list of all the items. Ooh, that's the sweet. Ghost chili choc lime. That sounds really good. I love lime and chili. That is such a good combo. Okay, and this is the featured artist. It just tells you more about everything in the kit, which I think is really, really cool. And then just some techniques. That's really handy. There's a horoscope thing in the back as well. That's cool. Okay, so I'm Scorpio. So my art supply is ink. Dark, mysterious and bold, ink allows Scorpio to create intense and striking artwork with depth and precision. That's really cool. I think that's really fun to do like an art supply one. That's really cool. Oh, and then you get a print from the featured artist. That's really nice. I really like that. The colours look so... Oh, and that's, of course, that's the colours that we were given. And then, yeah, just a little bit more about the artist, Kat Lewis. And that is their Instagram if you are interested in checking them out. And then it also comes with a small book. So this is an A5 white card booklet sketchpad thing. Oh, that is some nice thick... Oh, I've got two. Okay, so it's not as thick, but it is some decent thick card. That's really nice. So I guess I want to start by testing out the supplies on this pad. I think I want to start with the acrylic pens because that is what I pulled out first, but I need to fix this order. This is not good. There we go. I think that looks way nicer than what I did with them. So a really nice warm tone. I really like that. This is going to be a really fun challenge because I really want to obviously just stick to everything I got in today's box. What I also think would be really fun is because this is the artist's featured box, if I did something kind of like similar to this, I think that would be a lot of fun. So I think, yeah, that's probably what I'm going to try and do. I haven't decided exactly yet what my subject is all going to be. I probably am also going to do a girl of some kind, but yeah, I suppose we will figure that out. Okay, so I decided that I wanted to try and sketch out this girl that was in the print the artist made, and since we don't really get to see that much of her, I was really taking a lot of like artistic liberties, I suppose. I guess coming up with my own character more inspired by this girl. I also ended up drawing a martini glass instead of a margarita glass. No idea why. I guess I kept thinking, I was like, why does my glass look so strange? It looks more angular. And then it wasn't until I was done that I was like, I completely ignored what that glass looked like and just drew a martini glass. But anyway, so there wasn't really that much of the girl in the print to go on. So like I said, I came up with some different designs than what the artist might envision her looking like. But currently I am focusing on the face, and I was having a bit of a hard time. I'm not entirely sure why, but her face wasn't coming to me as easily as they sometimes do. So I ended up being very heavy-handed with this pencil, which is only a slight issue because this pencil doesn't rub out amazingly. I think it's quite a strong pencil, and I can see a lot of ghosting on my page from where I do rub things out later. She just took a little time, slowly building up to a point where I liked her, but I do ultimately really like how she ended up. I had a lot of fun making up her hair. Like I said, we only see a little bit of her hair in the artist's picture, so I just decided to go with a shorter haircut, I think because one of the other pictures that the artist had drawn that was shown in the booklet we were given, she'd drawn quite short hair for one of them, so I think that had stuck in my mind, and I was like, yeah, I'd really like to do something like that, but with like a nice amount of volume. So her hair is kind of like standing out in a way that I don't know if hair actually does, but it is so satisfying to draw hair like that, so I really enjoyed doing that. I also gave her some long dangly earrings and later realised that I think she is actually wearing hoops in the artist's picture, but like I said, at this point it's basically a different person. So I was very loosely tying it into the print that we were given. And I wanted to keep the long nails, although I'm not used to drawing long nails like that, so I felt like I struggled a little bit, but they end up looking like nails, so I guess it works out. because of the glass, I decided to go for a very, very loosely kind of 1920s vibe with her dress. It is not exactly clear to see because you see barely any of the dress, but that is kind of what inspired her dress. And I don't know, like I said, I was really struggling with this piece. I couldn't get her arms to do exactly what I wanted, so I did end up leaving her crossed arm kind of just blank and kind of just left a little bit to insinuate the arm is there, but didn't go into too much detail because I was struggling for whatever reason. So after lightly erasing the picture, I decided to go in and line everything. I still kind of wanted to try and keep it similar to the artist's piece, even though it is mostly more in my style now. So I wanted to leave her mostly just a line drawing and then add some coloured elements behind her, colour in her nails and just a couple things here and there. Yeah, this pen was interesting. I liked it because it was, you know, quite nice and thin, but thick enough where it wasn't too tedious to do the thicker areas. But I don't know if it was because the nib is longer than I'm used to. There were a couple points where I just was not... There were a couple points where the lines just weren't going where I intended for them to go or where I thought they would go, which threw me off a couple times. I really enjoyed doing something just a bit more simple for this video. This was just like a really nice laid back drawing session kind of thing where I didn't worry too much about doing like a final finished piece, and I kind of just left it a bit more loose and sketchy, and I really liked it. And I kind of want to do a few more videos like this where I am making less of a finished piece, just because it is really fun as well sometimes to just do less daunting pieces, because I mean, not everything that everyone makes is going to be a finished piece, and I think that is like a good thing to remember sometimes, that it can be messy or smaller scale. That being said, I am going to be doing big pieces with some videos coming up, so I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, I enjoyed this box. I thought it was great. I think it's worth mentioning that the price of one of these boxes is £22.95, which roughly equates to like $31. So I think for all of these pieces that you get in the box, it is quite a good deal. Obviously, that's not including shipping, and I don't know how much shipping would be. Each month, the items that you get in the box will be different. I believe that each month also has like a featured artist. I might be wrong about that because it's been a while since I've like looked into their stuff. I think that's the case. So usually the art supplies of that month are based around what the artist themselves likes to use. So you can get quite a nice range of different items in these boxes. So they're not always going to be like, for example, acrylic pens. You could get like watercolors or pastels, anything you can think of really, which I think is great for helping people branch out into trying new mediums, especially since the booklet has tips from the artist of that month. So it's kind of like a handy dipping your toes experiment kind of thing. And I think it's a really cute touch to include a sweet in the box each month, although I did try that chili chocolate lime sweet and I didn't like it. It was really nice at first, but then it got to a point where I bit into it it just, the flavour wasn't exactly for me. The spice wasn't an issue, the flavour was kinda not really my kind of thing. So yeah, I added some flames behind her because I wanted to keep the vibe, like, because the nails in the original piece had the flame decals on it. I thought it would be really cool to like keep the fire motif behind her, which kind of makes it look like she is enjoying chaos, which I really like the vibes of. I was planning on going round the outer line work with the black brush pen to thicken it up, but I decided against that because I was really struggling to get the control that I wanted with it. I ended up just using the fine liner, which was a little tedious because obviously it's quite thin, but worth it. I preferred how it looked to the brush pen. Then I wanted to use the bronze pen as well, so I just added some kind of like star sparkles around her, and I really like how it looks. I was worried it was going to clash too much with the flame colours, but I think it looks really nice. So after that I wanted to do one more thing. I wanted to just see if I could colour her with the pens we were given. So I did another sketch of her down here, just a really simple, I guess it's a 3/4 view. Yeah, colouring her in, I wanted to give her a kind of tanned skin and then a very pale hair. Because we're very limited with the colours for this set, I thought it would just look really nice and that the colours would look nice together. And yeah, it's very simple, but I really like how it looks. I also shaded her hair with the orange because I'd used one of the dark red pinks for her skin shading, so I kind of didn't want it to clash. I didn't want her hair to look like it was made of her flesh. So I went with the orange, and I think it looks quite nice. It gives kind of an underglow to her hair, although it is also a little strange because it's orange. And then after that I just went in and lined everything again, and yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. She was a lot of fun to draw, and I really liked inspiring it by this piece. Like I said, I ended up sticking more to my style rather than interpreting the artist's style. I really enjoyed sketching her, even though, like I said, she was a little tricky at times. I just really like how she ended up, and her hair was so much fun to draw, and I just think she looks great with the flames behind her. So yeah, who knows, maybe she just did some like arson. But yeah, this was such a fun box to try. Like I said, I've always really wanted to try one, so this was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. There will be links in the description if you are interested in trying a box for yourself. I believe you can buy previous month's boxes as well, so you might even be able to get your hands on this box if you wanted to try it. But yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to Scrawlrbox for sending me this to show you guys, and also a massive thank you to my patrons: Disby, Grimclow, The Waffle of Life, Non-Toxic, Saint Nick's, LP, Kira May, Kay, Joanna, Mila, Pretty Rotten, R.A. Foxy, Joanna Snake Moon, Humble Frogs, Local Fishkeeper, Mould Ghoul, Farrarware, Sun Arts, Molly Marula, Scout Radley, Sammy Bear 127, Kenzania, Arrow, Charlie, Malorus, Coda, Cindy King, Art by Lavender, Angela's Weird Tales, Rainbow Tea, Breaded Nuggets, Learns, Human Eye, The Moth Bug, Nox, Catbird House, The Tormented Shadow, Sweet and Hopeless, Pocket, Jordan's Tiny Planet, The Coffee Rain, Black Jackal Art, Leela Loves You, Faith, A. Wendu, Olivia Gadbour, Feather, Cheris Needham, Rotting Lettuce, Binexary, Cyrus Orion, Mottled Pixel, Malbon Designs, Gamut Girl, Solar Tortoise, Auden, Red S Lily, Haley, Sienna G, Lady Ratbird, Fia, Greenfinch G Illustration, Lynn, Cody, Kaleidoscope Arm, Cloud, Cleofix, Redders, Zeutka, Beetle Ghost, Melisandre Sinclair, Bria Washington, Hurrier, June, Dakota Garcia, Manon, Lily Likes Art, Rona, Levi, Tink, Daniel McGuinness, Janine, Deals Live, K2, Flossie, Stegosaurus, Yoinks, Soundly Manners, Stoyan, Bleety, Spooky Chloe, Starry Fern, Kiki, Nuclear Nail Bomb, Brianna, P. Right Stuff, Raig Norway, JGP, Spaceman Theo, Slurp, Nosebridge, Cherry, In the Clouds, Quill, Nowil, Saturn, SaturnSword.jpg, Bunny B, Samara, One Joltaire, Lee H, Jen B Burning, Fenray, Cinderus, Mon, I Like Tea and Pokemon, Kino K, Bland Polecat, Destiny, Kaya D, Jamie, Riggs M23, Lolly, Kendall Collins, Mel Vogel, and Lily Lelkels. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I should hopefully have another video for you guys soon, so I will see you then.